Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Scott Wingerter Show. So today we have a special treat for you. We're going to take a look at Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's, or AOC's, blow up yesterday at Mr. Tony Bobulinski in the Congress.
Thank you. Good job. Chair now recognizes Ms. Ocasio-Cortez from New York.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Bobulinski, I heard your opening statement. It's submitted to the record, part of our proceedings. I have a quick question. Simple. Is it your testimony today that you personally witnessed President Joe Biden commit a crime?
I love the expression on his face right there. I think it's hysterical. He's just like, are you stupid or something?
I believe the fact that he was sitting with me while I was putting together a business deal.
Did you witness the president commit a crime? Is it your testimony today?
Yes.
And what crime have you witnessed?
How much time do I have to go through it?
It is simple. You name the crime. Did you watch him steal something?
Corruption statutes, RICO and conspiracy.
What is it? What is the crime, sir? Specifically.
You keep...
Look at this guy in the background over here, right? The bald guy, just like, he thinks that's the funniest thing he's ever heard. And like, if you watch the people to Mr. Bobulinski's right behind him, they're going to join the choir here very shortly. They think that this is, well, frankly, stupid.
You asked me to answer the question. I answered the question.
No.
RICO, you're obviously not familiar with. Corruption statutes.
Excuse me, sir. RICO is not a crime.
Well, that's good news. I know of somebody who's currently charged with RICO that I'm sure he's going to be really happy to hear that RICO is not a crime, right? 45.
It is a category. What is the
It's a category of crimes that you're then charged
You
under
have charges.
A long 100.
You have charges. Sir, please
want me to name the exact statute under RICO?
Yes.
Well, it's funny. In this committee room, everyone's not here. There's over 18
All right, sir, I reclaim my
lawyers
time.
that went to law school.
Uh-oh. He's beating me. He's about to just make me look like a complete idiot who has no idea what I'm talking about. I better reclaim my time.
I reclaim my time.
You guys
okay,
to
thank
define
you,
the
sir. I
statute
reclaim my
under
time.
RICO.
Clearly, what we are seeing here today
Here we go.
is a continuation of the 15-month saga,
Ooh, a saga.
of the Republican majority lost in the desert. Impeachment 101. The majority party, or whomever is raising impeachment, must accuse the president of a high crime, a specific high crime or misdemeanor.
Ooh. Now, I understand that Miss Cortez is not a lawyer or a historian or a constitutionalist. However, let's be clear here, shall we? She swore an oath to protect, defend the Constitution, to adhere to it, and administer it as part of her Article 1 legislative duties, right? So I think it's pretty reasonable to expect her as a congresswoman to know what high crimes and misdemeanors mean. We see most people in America today don't know what that means. Legal history happens to be in my wheelhouse, and I know what those terms mean when they were written. You see, it's not like a high crime like, oh, you have to, prove that he, is guilty of some sort of felony or something like that. That is not what high crimes means. There's the impeachment clause under Article 2 of the Constitution says that the president can be impeached for bribery, which Mr. Bobulinski is accusing President Biden of, treason, which no one's accusing President Biden of because treason is very narrowly defined and specifically defined in the Constitution, and we aren't in a declared war with anybody, so realistically, constitutionally, no one in America today can even be guilty of treason because we'd have to be in a declared war. So, and then high crimes and misdemeanors. So what is a high crime? A high crime is a crime of infamous nature, contrary to public morality, but not technically constituting a felony. Now, there's a Venn diagram overlap here that we can see. Like, obviously, if you, burnt down an orphanage with the orphans trapped inside, that would constitute a high crime and a felony, right? Multiple felonies, multiple counts of murder, multiple counts of arson. You get my point here, right? So the two can exist simultaneously, but they don't necessarily have to. All right. What I'm arguing here is historically, and you can do the research, you can look it up in like something like Blackstone's Commentaries on Law, which was the quintessential law book that all of the founders and framers of the Constitution would have been familiar with at the time when they were writing this. But high crimes and misdemeanors are basically synonymous. All right. So a high crime, like I said, is something that you're doing that's specifically infamous in nature, goes against the moral fabric of the society, right? And so is a misdemeanor. All right. Let's break down the word. How would you describe someone's demeanor, right? What does that word mean? Demeanor means your character, how you act, how you portray yourself, right? So a misdemeanor, right, means that you are misbehaving, all right? You are not acting right, okay? Anybody who has kids understands what a misdemeanor is, okay? It is not necessarily a legal term. Where we get a little bit confused here is in our criminal code in America. Misdemeanor is also a level of crime. It's underneath felony and it's above like a citation. Okay. So, here in Texas, you go to the, 7-Eleven and pop open a beer and start drinking it on the premise inside the 7-Eleven. That's a misdemeanor. You're probably going to go to jail for that. Okay. But it's not like you murdered somebody, all right? That's not what we're talking about here in the Constitution. A misdemeanor specifically in this context means misbehavior. And when you go back classically in politics and political philosophy, what a misdemeanor in this term would mean is basically the pinnacle of misdemeanor, right? What the highest example would be something like maladministration, all right? You have this office that you're supposed to be conducting yourself in, and you're supposed to fulfill the duties of that office. And if you just out of either incompetence or negligence don't do your job, right? That was regarded as a misdemeanor, a high crime, right? So she asked a good question here, I think, in the video. She asked if President Biden is guilty of a high crime or misdemeanor. Do we have any examples of him, basically conducting a maladministration? Ooh, yeah, that doesn't look so good now, does it? Let's continue with the video, shall we?
I would like to submit to the record HRES 918, the House resolution to open this impeachment inquiry.
Without objection to order.
This resolution does not outline a high crime or misdemeanor.
The entire thing is about high crimes and misdemeanors. Okay, Congresswoman? What they're alleging, what the gentleman before you that you didn't want to listen to, the witness, what he was trying to testify to is the fact that this guy is up to his eyeballs in corruption. All right. His son and his brother have basically put together what amounts to a crime family and have gotten millions and millions and millions of dollars from the communist Chinese, corrupt energy companies in Ukraine. I mean, hell, the freaking mayor of Moscow's wife just gave Hunter Biden a couple $1 million for what? I don't know, but doesn't that sound odd to you? You want to talk about how RICO's a category? Well, geez, if I could have a poster child for RICO, it'd be the Biden corrupt crime family.
It's not here. Now, when we compare the chairman's opening from his previous opening, he's talking about Ukraine and Burisma and all of this. This entire inquiry is based on a blockbuster piece of information that was in a classified SCIF room. And inside that room was a document.
This entire investigation has been out there in a book that was published by Peter Schweitzer years ago. This is not new information. What we have found out since that book came out is how deep the rabbit hole goes here. You cannot tell me that Joe Biden is not guilty of high crimes and misdemeanors when he's sitting next to his son and his son texts a Chinese communist official saying, "You better give me my money. My dad's sitting right here. I expect it, within the hour," or whatever he texted. This is ridiculous. I'm done with this.